G'day there guys, McDonald's #1 consumer of coffee, it's your main man Markee and welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the A-hole? Now if you love today's bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and get ready for some bloody good content. Thank you. Posted by user ThrowRA Cane Girl. Titled, Am I the A-hole for moving out cause my family keeps playing with my cane? So I, 17 female, still live with my mum, my stepdad, and my 2 half-siblings, 5 male and 7 female. My dad died when I was 5, driving me to the hospital. Mum didn't want to pay for an ambulance. He died in the crash and my leg and spine got busted up in a way that has left me needing a cane pretty much ever since. My stepdad's always been a little distant with me. He likes to make jokes about how I'm an early blooming black widow. I think he gets that from my mum, who blames me for my dad's death. I do too. It is my fault after all, so I don't push back on it. Anyway, the point is that with the current situation, my parents are always looking for ways to get my half-siblings active and doing things without leaving the house, and have recently settled on scavenger hunts. I have no problem with this, honestly. I wish they'd stopped hiding stuff in my underwear drawer, but it's a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, so that's not the worst. My problem, though, is that they keep taking my cane when I'm not looking. I tend to get lost in my homework and my writing hobby and zone out, and having it be one of the items that my half-siblings have to find. When I complain to my stepdad, he's a stay-at-home dad, so is usually the one running these things, he scolds me for being selfish, and points out that my swivel chair has wheels if I need the bathroom, and that they always get it to me before I have to go downstairs for dinner. I tried my mum yesterday, and she said that I was being a brat, and that if I wanted a father who cared about me, I shouldn't have killed my dad. I got really upset at that point, and called my grandparents, my mum's parents, because my dads are dead too. They showed up at 10 PM yesterday, and Grandma screamed at them while Grandpa packed my stuff up and helped me out to their car. My mum's been blowing up my phone and email, calling me all sorts of names and accusing me of turning her family against her and trying to get her into legal trouble since minors can't move out. And I can't help but think that maybe she's right, so am I the a-hole? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. I think I might be the a-hole because it's not like they were hurting me actively, just making it painful to leave my room, and my cane's always been returned intact and with no problems eventually. I didn't need to blow up the family, and I don't want to cause any long-term problems for my mum. You may not want to cause any problems for your mum, but it seems as though she's more than happy to cause problems for you and is enabling your stepdad to cause them also. There's no excuse for them hiding your cane. You're disabled and need it to get around. You obviously aren't okay with them hiding it, and the two of them have seemingly conditioned you to accepting it. I disagree with you also on the not actively hurting you part. I think they are. To be convinced that at 5 years old, you caused the death of your father, who was just trying to get you to the hospital, is disgusting by your mother. No child should have that happen to them, nor should they have a family who lays blame for that death on their child. I'm sad knowing that's a reality for you because that's no reality that I'd want to live in. That would actively hurt me every single day. I think it's for the best that you move out with your grandparents and away from these two so-called parents. That's not an environment you should be subject to, as it'll only get worse with time. Not the a-hole, please leave. Now in the comments, Buttered with Bread says, "Oh honey, no. You didn't kill your dad. It isn't your fault. Accidents are accidents because they aren't your fault. Your mother is unbelievably awful for the way she's been treating you and allowing you to be treated. Please stay with your grandparents. And if you have access, maybe seek out a therapist to help you work through all this guilt that you're holding onto. More than anything, I send you hugs. Oh, and not the a-hole in any way, shape, or form. Do not go back to that abusive house." And OP replies, "I caused him to need to be in the car though. I wasn't sick. I'd injured myself jumping off the stairs because I thought my Supergirl costume would make me fly. I didn't cause the accident itself, but it's my fault he was in the accident. I appreciate the hugs and the verdict, though. By this same logic, it should be your mum's fault if she didn't want to pay for an ambulance. Jesus. Not the a-hole all the way, and tons of hugs for you. Please take care of yourself and don't go back there. And quite frankly, this is probably why the mum is focused on blaming OP, to avoid poking that thought too much. She clearly needs to come to terms with that, but it'll probably never happen. Not the a-hole. Your mother is straight up abusive. Your father's death is not your fault, and she is frankly completely awful for allowing and reinforcing those beliefs. Your stepdad is an a-hole too for taking unnecessary aid from you. If he wore glasses, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't find it funny if you kept hiding them. These people are toxic, and cutting them out of your life may well be your best decision here. Also, depending on the jurisdiction, taking someone's cane can be considered an assault upon the person, since it is interfering with necessary medical equipment. Not the a-hole. First of all, your father's death was absolutely not your fault. Your mother has behaved absolutely abhorrently towards you, and it's downright horrific that anyone in your household thinks it's okay to take your cane and leave you without means to get around your home easily. Everyone in your household, except you, has behaved terribly. Good on you for getting out. Please also talk to your grandparents about getting you into therapy. You certainly have a lot of things to talk through, and I think you would find it very helpful. And OP replies, I mean, like I've said elsewhere, it was my fault, but I appreciate your kindness regardless. Therapy might be a good idea though, yeah. I'm reluctant to ask for anything, since I take so much, but not a bad idea. You feel like you take so much that you can't ask for help? Seriously, you are in a very low place. You deserve help, love, happiness, and you deserve to take up space and resources. We all do. OP replies to that, my grandparents are retired and they're not exactly rich. It would be greedy for me to ask of them to pay for therapy when they're already offering to give me a place to stay and to feed me and pay for the Wi-Fi I need for classes. Are you American? If so, may I ask what state you live in? I'd like to send you some resources because if the cost of therapy would put a strain on your grandparents' financial situation, you may be eligible for free or reduced cost medical services. You absolutely need therapy. What you've been through is not okay. Your mum seems to have convinced you that you are bad and worthless. This is not normal and you deserve better. And OP replies, you're very kind, and I live in Maine. And it's okay because right after this one, a lot of people sent OP resources and links to different things that they can access in Maine. So I really do hope they get therapy there, and I do hope they get the help they need, because it does seem like they are convinced that they are bad and worthless, and that's no way to live. This is a terrible situation, and it could take a long time to get out of, but hopefully they can get those resources that have been provided to them. Also, OP adds an edit at the end of their post and says, I would just like to say thank you to everyone who's taken the time to comment and try to reassure me that I'm not the a-hole. I can't reply to all of you. I like the energy and I have homework, but I'm reading them all and I really appreciate it. You've given me a lot to think about and I do thank you. Posted by user FlightNeat5038. Titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my mum I'm not going to be her second choice just because my brother died? So me, 23 male, and my mum don't have the best relationship. My parents broke up when I was 2. My mum was trying to do college, so I was mostly with my dad, and she would have me every weekend. When I was 6, she got married, and then a year later had my half-brother Tommy. After that, she was cancelling our meetups or days I go over there because she was busy, missing out on school stuff and then birthdays. I barely saw her after that, and her reason always was being busy with my half-brother. I never even met him, like, at all. I could also tell when I was around, her husband didn't like me. He was always serious around me and never actually spoke to me. Years went on, and it just went to a total no talking at all. My dad got married to my stepmom when I was 10, and she's really great. So 9 months ago, I heard from my grandparents on Facebook that Tommy passed away. I don't know the full details. All I know is that it was some accident and he had serious injuries. I thought about reaching out to my mum, but it felt weird since we haven't talked in years. She ended up being the one messaging me. First, telling me about what happened to Tommy, and then apologizing for not keeping contact with me for years. Pretty much, she wants to meet and for us to have a relationship again. It just felt off to me that she's doing it only now after Tommy passed. I know some of you are going to say losing him maybe made her realize she was a crap mum to me, but still. If this hadn't happened, then it's like she never would have reached out and wouldn't be trying. I told her this too, and I'm not interested in us having anything at the moment. This made her push even more that we need to do this, and it just seemed like she was not going to let this go. So I said I'm sorry for what happened to him, but I'm not going to be her second choice, and she can't expect me to want her back in just because she lost one child and decided that she'll go back to the other. Maybe in the future if I feel differently, but not right now. My mum hasn't left me alone, and when last time I talked to my grandparents, they gave me crap about what I told her, and I shouldn't have said that to her just after she'd lost her son. So I'm not sure if what I said was too harsh, saying I'm not interested in her right now just because my brother's not around anymore, and it's like I'm just her only option now. It's just how I feel since she dropped out of my life once she had another family. Was I an a-hole? And OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. So I think I could be an a-hole for telling my mum I won't be her second choice because my brother passed away and hurting her feelings about that. Her feelings were hurt before she contacted you. She knowingly chose to cut you out of her life. Maybe that hurt, maybe that didn't, but she's having to deal with the pain of losing her son, and now the pain of the realization that she doesn't deserve a relationship with you, and is desperate for some anchoring and stability in her life. She didn't choose to have her son die. You didn't choose to have your mother cut you off and abandon you, in all honesty. Life happens, and people make bad choices. You're not an a-hole from my perspective for telling her you won't be her second choice, and if that hurts her feelings, then good, I think it needs to. It'll only hurt your feelings more if you let her in and she does that to you again. She's already proven she can do it once and be happy with it. So this is a hard situation, and I imagine it'd be even harder dealing with this in person. It's not wrong to reconnect with her again, and it's not wrong to keep your distance. Grief and loss are hard emotions to tackle, and you go at your own pace with these things. For telling her this, though, of course I see it as not the a-hole. Now in the comments, G-Man Boyd says, "Not the a-hole in the slightest in my opinion. This shouldn't be a question in your head, man. Don't feel bad about not wanting a relationship. She ditched you for her other son and now only wants you now that he's gone? F off. This is harsh, but that's karma. Completely up to you, but she doesn't deserve you, pal." Exactly. OP is not a plan B. This is such a bad thing to do to a child. The mother wants emotional support, not OP. She wants something to love to help her over her grief and regrets. I hope she won't get anything of OP. And what if the mother gets another child or dog or something and will just kick OP to the curb again? Just horrible she did it once, she will do it again. Not the a-hole, and your grandparents are also the a-hole if they've watched this situation unfold over years and only now decided to intervene. Even if she's genuinely regretting the past, that's her problem because it was entirely her actions that put her in this place now. You aren't an emotional support animal that she can pick up when she needs it. It's very reasonable you don't want to be subbed in for Tommy when you were already swapped for him once. She's going to need to demonstrate that she wants to get to know you as a person, not a substitute son. And she's got a lot of explaining to do. She made you a stranger. She doesn't get to call on strangers for help. Exactly this. Where were they the whole time your mother ignored you? You never even met your brother. How bad is that? What did they say about that? The mum ignored him, and he never met his brother for a whole 16 years. It's not like an infant needs more attention than a 7-year-old. This is next level. I mean, just technically speaking, an infant absolutely does need more attention than a 7-year-old, but that's no excuse for her totally ditching him and making zero effort whatsoever. It doesn't mean the 7-year-old doesn't need any attention or that she couldn't make some time. She is 100% in the wrong here. My son died, but wait, I got a spare, don't I? Not the a-hole. Posted by user BodyHair077. Titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my sister her body hair is ruining her dates? Bad title, hear me out. My sister, 22 female, and I, 26 female, both have polycystic ovarian syndrome. As a result, we have very thick, dark body hair and facial hair that can honestly rival some men's. I personally choose to shave regularly because I can't stand how it looks and feels. My sister used to shave, but about a year ago decided she wanted to stop. Of course, I support her 100% and think she's beautiful. What she does with her body is her business. However, there is an issue. My sister uses old pictures of herself back when she was shaving on dating apps. This has led to a lot of problems in her romantic life. She often complains she never gets a second date, and sometimes people even leave mid-date. I think this is kind of her fault because she's being disingenuous about her appearance, which is a crappy thing to do. I've always bit my tongue and just supported her about this topic until recently. The other day, she was venting again about another failed date. She asked me why this keeps happening to her. I told her she should consider updating her profile pictures. She got defensive and asked why she would need to do that. I told her that it would probably help so people knew what she looks like since she looks a lot different than when they were taken. She started getting extremely angry and said that a little body hair doesn't make that much of a difference, and the right person won't mind a little hair. Again, our body and facial hair is very thick and dark, and in my opinion, definitely makes a difference. When I don't shave, I get a full moustache and beard, and my sister is the same. The people she's going on dates with aren't expecting her to show up with a full moustache and beard because her pictures show her clean-shaven. I told her that she's beautiful, but she's giving people false expectations, which is why she's having bad luck dating. She should just be honest from the start, and the right one will come along. But she was infuriated and said that I was being unsupportive and misogynistic. She has refused to talk to me since, and my family is now calling me an a-hole too because they think I was shaming her. My sister even posted on social media that body hair is beautiful, the stigma attached to it is misogynistic. It sucks when your own family won't support you. Did I go wrong somewhere here? I love my sister and I don't think body and facial hair is a bad thing at all, but I don't think it's right to basically catfish people and then blame them for not being interested and treating them like they're horrible people when you misled them. Am I the a-hole? I think you went about this the right way. Yes, you were harsh on your sister, and to her, maybe your opinion wasn't necessary or helpful. But in all reality, it's the cold hard truth as to why her dates keep going so wrong. If she feels the need to catfish people and then get upset when she exposes herself, then she only has herself to blame. You feel bad for making her upset, sure, and your family agrees with her, but only because they'd rather pander to her emotions than have to deal with the fallout of breaking that reality to her also. It's easier as a family to side with her than have to deal with the arguments and fights that would come from siding with you. From an outside perspective, I think you did the right thing. I assume she knows what she's doing is wrong and knows that her dating pool gets smaller when she doesn't shave and shows pictures of herself online with a mustache and beard. That's the unfortunate reality of dating online. There's really no easy answer to this one, but to me, you're not the a-hole. Now in the comments, Yuki Daviji says, Not the a-hole. She's lying to those who look at her profile. And if body hair is natural and she's okay with it, why won't she update her picture? She's okay with her hair, proud of it, so why? Because she knows she wouldn't get as many first dates if she did update it, is what I think. But it would solve the issue of people leaving in the middle of the date because they were lied to. Right? Her statement of, the right person wouldn't mind a bit of body hair, contradicts the fact that she has an old pre-hair profile picture. Because she's not attracting the right person, she's attracting the wrong ones and going on dates with the wrong ones. She has to decide whether she wants lots of first dates or if she wants to really put herself out there with a new picture and try to find someone who will actually connect with her. Not the a-hole OP, you are honest but gentle about the whole thing. Exactly. If it doesn't matter, then a recent picture shouldn't matter either. Exactly. This is like dudes using a profile picture from the 90s in blue swim trunks on a sailboat, and now they're 30 plus years older than their profile picture looked. It's disingenuous. It's misrepresenting themselves. It's plain lying. I'm in my 30s and have dated, and would date older men, just not if they feel they need to lie about it. Before we started dating, my wife was on Tinder, matched with a nice guy, chatted a bit, set up a date. She arrives, doesn't see him, and waits at the bar. A guy who was already there, and around 200 pounds heavier than his profile pictures, walks up and asks her by name if she's his date. She says nope, gets a beer, and walked out. Like, that would normally be an a-hole move to walk out on a date like that, except he'd already set the expectation and lied about that. He might have been a great person, but lying on the first date is just a flat-out good way not to get a second. That goes for men or women. Not the a-hole. I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and the honest answer is, if you choose to embrace the body hair issue, embrace it. But if she's claiming to embrace it, then not backing it up with being proud about it, then that's a huge issue. I also have PCOS and insulin resistance. I have a beard that would rival most men's, but I shave every day. I also have a pretty good happy trail as well. Not the a-hole. Wow, your sister loves being the victim, doesn't she? No offense, if I see a guy clean shaved, that I meet him in person with a beard, I'd straight up call him what he is, a catfisher. Body hair or not, if it's something she knows will make people swipe left, she should put it up there. Doesn't matter if she has extra weight, shorter hair, or a facial scar. Changing pictures you know will make people swipe left and meeting with them regardless is catfishing, and even if the right guy shows up, he would leave after being deceived. She loves complaining about them not staying when she's the one who catfished and wasted their time, then blamed you when she asked you for your opinion and got defensive. The fact that she also made a post doesn't help either. She loves being the victim, and it's on her, not you. Lol, what? A guy with a beard is catfishing you? That's pretty ridiculous. Guys can grow a beard in like a week, and it's definitely not culturally abnormal at all for a guy to switch between having a beard and being shaven. Now, if he shows up with a lumberjack beard, that's a different story. But I can shave on a Monday and have a pretty decent beard going in 10 days. Posted by user AggravatingPop3146, titled, Am I the a-hole for getting mad at my wife for her jokes about me not helping around the house or with our baby? My wife and I both work. Only difference is she actually goes into the office and I'm still working from home. We have a 10-month-old daughter, and I've been basically a stay-at-home dad on top of working my regular day job. It was stressful as hell when my wife finished up her maternity leave, but luckily my work is pretty flexible, so I'm not usually super busy. Most of the day, I'm replying to emails on my phone with my daughter in her carrier or taking conference calls while she's napping. I also do the cleaning around the house because I'm a total neat freak and order or cook dinner too if I have the time. Then in the evenings, my wife takes over so I have some leisure time. On Sunday, we went to have lunch at her sister's house. The first time we've all seen each other in a while. They ask us how life's going with a new baby, and my wife starts jokes about the house being a mess when she gets home and her having to clean it up because I've been too busy playing with our daughter all day to do it myself. When her sister's husband asked how I manage, I admitted it does get overwhelming sometimes, and my wife once again chimed in, saying I call her constantly throughout the day over little things. Like not being able to find our daughter's binky or needing her help because daughter won't stop crying and I have no idea what to do. She also laughed about how every day when she gets home, she just prays I didn't burn the house down. I know it was all said in a light-hearted joking around way, but it really hurt my feelings. Everyone was chuckling except me, so my wife kissed my cheek telling me not to take it too seriously, and she appreciates that I put in the effort. So I straight up told her, well, I don't appreciate you acting like I'm useless when I'm the one at home taking care of her all day and cleaning the house. My wife didn't know how to respond to that, and we changed the subject. She was in a serious mood after we left because I embarrassed her, and it wouldn't have hurt me to let her joke around a little because she knows that I help out a lot. I've been distant with her, not talking much when she gets home, and she's mad at me for taking it too seriously. Even her sister says that I'm overreacting, but I just don't see why she thought that it was okay to paint me as the cliché, useless man-child husband. Now I have my wife saying I'm being a bit of an ass for still holding this against her, and she doesn't see why it's a big deal to me. Part of me just feels hurt, and I'd like an apology, but another part wonders if I'm being an ass for how I'm acting with her. Personally, I've been on the receiving end of the same jokes, and you can honestly take them for a long time. But when those same jokes are repeated over and over again, you question just how long someone can keep up the same shtick for so long without realizing, hey, maybe I'm being a bit of a dick for continuing the joke. The wife trying to play it off after and telling you not to take it so seriously because, oh my god, it's just a joke, is minimizing your emotions. She's not apologizing to you, even if it wasn't her intention to hurt you. Sometimes you have to realize that these jokes and things you say to people really do hurt, because your words have weight. An apology would be a good start to fixing this situation. I think you've done a good job communicating your feelings in this situation, OP, and you're valid for getting mad at her. Her bringing her sister into this private matter is uncalled for. Sure, she wants another perspective, but to me, it seems like a very biased perspective, and it's not helping. The least she can do is give you that apology, but she refuses to for some reason unknown to me. Seems like the ball is in her court now, and you're not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Put it this way. If the situation was flipped and you were the salary man and your wife was a stay-at-home mum, how would those comments go down in front of her family? Would they still find it funny that you're implying the mother of your child was useless at home? If it's not funny in reverse, it's not funny. She needs to apologize for undermining you, then you guys can move forward. He's not even a stay-at-home parent. He's a work-from-home parent who juggles working with caring for the kid. Which is 2 full-time jobs worked simultaneously. And he cleans. The wife should be loudly singing his praises rather than cutting him down because she's insecure with the knowledge that he is doing the lion's share of the work on weekdays. She even called it helping out. Exactly. This dude is really digging in, and his wife calls it help because what? It should be her job? That's a really outdated way of thinking. The golden rule applies here. She wouldn't want to be treated like that, so why treat someone else that way? Because it's funny, and that makes it all right, obviously. She's just joking, bro. Problem is, if she's the only one laughing, then it's not that much of a joke. Let's be honest, she wasn't even doing it to be funny. She wanted to paint herself as the hard-working mum who is somehow able to juggle it all and is holding the family together, while he's the bumbling idiot who miraculously manages not to burn the house down every day. I would be livid and demand an apology myself. She's crapping on her husband too in order to feed her own ego. It's hurtful and pathetic. Not the a-hole, but your wife sure is. She's undermining your efforts. You're doing your best, man, and it's only a joke if it's funny to both parties. Otherwise, it's just being mean. Your wife needs to take a second and wonder why she's embarrassed. Here's the answer. Because she knows that you told the truth, and she's embarrassed you called her out instead of going along with her jokes that make her look like the better parent. You keep doing what you're doing, and make sure to have a serious talk with her when tempers are a little calmer, alright? You sound like a good dad, by the way. Also, I really don't understand this. Do you know how happy I'd be to have a husband in the future who takes care of the house and the kid while I work? I'd sing his praises and tell everyone how glad I am that he's pulling his weight in the relationship. What does she get from painting her partner as the bad guy in front of her family, and possibly friends in the future if it keeps up? OP definitely is not the a-hole. She shouldn't joke about this. This, though, honestly, OP's wife found a unicorn and she still puts him down. Yikes. There's a reason that unicorns are extinct nowadays. Not the a-hole. She doesn't see why it's a big deal to me. That's because she has no idea of how much you do during your work hours. Not playing with the kid hours, or cleaning hours, or cooking hours. Work hours. You're amazing for being able to juggle work in there, but she shouldn't joke about it. She was belittling you and your hard work. That isn't a joke. And then to act like you embarrassed her after all the times she embarrassed you? Pfft. Not to mention sexist too. The me dumb husband dialogue needs to stop. It's really not okay, and actually really insulting to all the involved dads who are fully living in the 21st century. Alright guys, I think that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you need a good laugh, please do check out my second channel, Markee 2, links down in the description below, or it's going to appear somewhere on the screen here at the end, little bubble with my face on it. As always, a big shout out to my Patreon and channel members. Your faces are surrounding me right now, and I love to have you guys with me, and down in the comment sections of each and every video, and just knowing that you're always there to support me. It's a humbling and lovely feeling. And rest assured, I do see you, and I do notice your support, and I thank you every day for being here and helping me along this journey. Not much else to say besides that, guys. Thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. I do hope that you have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to. I will see you in the next video, and thank you again. Bye.